You know, sometimes you build something beautiful, something that pulls you back from the edge and the world just can't stand it. They gotta find a way to tear it down. For me, that beautiful thing was Willow Creek Lake, not some natural wonder, but a half-acre pond I dredged and damned myself right after losing my wife. It was therapy, pure and simple. Concrete, steel, and a hand-welded sluice gate that let me manage every drop of water, ensuring the banks never washed out and the ecosystem stayed stable for my 14-year-old Lily. We called it our sanctuary, the Gio. Trouble started, of course, with the Willowbrook HOA, specifically their president, Eliza Thorne, a woman who treated a community board like a royal decree. One chilly Tuesday morning, Lily was out on the dock, casting her line, that quiet concentration she gets from fishing, and I was checking the gate wheel, cold steel under my hand. I hear tires crunching gravel, and up rolls a pristine black SUV. Eliza, her sniveling assistant, Brent, and a rent-a-cop who looked like he'd rather be anywhere else. Eliza stepped out, her voice sharp enough to cut the mist. "Mr. Jensen, we have issued the final notice. Your illegal manipulation of the community watershed must cease immediately. You are in violation of Covenant 14C, subsection G." She paused, that smug little smirk that just killed me. "You are hereby fined, $75,000 payable within 15 days. Non-compliance leads to immediate lien and foreclosure proceedings. 75 grand, an absurd, crushing number designed to make me fold." Lily looked up, her eyes wide with fear, and that's when the anger didn't just build, it crystallized. "Eliza, this is private property," I told her, keeping my voice low and steady. "Dangerous. I'm managing erosion, protecting the downstream property, which, by the way, includes yours. It's basic hydraulic engineering." She let out this tight, humorless laugh. "Your engineering doesn't override the bylaws, David. Pay up, or lose it all." And she wasn't just threatening me. She was threatening Lily's sanctuary, the last physical manifestation of stability we had. They drove off, leaving me standing there with the weight of their threat, watching Lily, who was shaking now, reel in her empty line. The fines kept coming. Smaller, like mosquito bites, $15,000, $8,000, just to bleed me dry. The black SUV was a daily shadow. Eliza's newsletter painted me as a reckless menace, an eco-terrorist who was going to flood the entire valley. Neighbors started avoiding eye contact, crossing the street. The isolation hurt almost as much as the threats. I tried their way, meticulously documenting everything. Time-stamped videos, notary stamps, daily water logs. I presented my case at the next HOA meeting, armed with facts and a clear timeline of harassment. A few older residents looked thoughtful, but Eliza just slammed the gavel, citing procedural error. They didn't want the truth. They wanted a villain. Playing by their rules meant I was going to lose Willow Creek Lake. I got a call from Eliza a week later, almost sweetly reasonable. She offered to settle for $10,000 and an annual inspection. A wave of relief washed over me. I almost said yes. Then the next day, a certified letter arrived from her law firm. 48-hour notice to surrender the gate control or face the injunction. It wasn't a compromise. It was a final, cold-blooded ambush. That was it. That's when I stopped being the reasonable homeowner and started being the engineer who knew water obeys gravity, and sometimes gravity needs a little encouragement. Fear hung heavy in the air. You could almost taste it. Lily would jump every time the mail truck arrived, but those old instincts, the ones that built that dam in the first place, they kicked in. I locked myself in the workshop. I mapped this entire watershed, measured elevations down to the inch, and researched every HOA procedural error. I even found out Brent, the assistant, didn't have the authority to issue any fines at all. A small crack, but a crack nonetheless. But the real weapon, the absolute nuclear option, was in the county archives. I cross-referenced the HOA's boundary map with the original 1950s subdivision plat, and there it was, a faint, hand-drawn line. The HOA had shaved 40 feet off my property line in their official documents, illegally absorbing my lake into their community control. Their authority, their foreclosures, their $75,000 fine. All of it stopped at the original crumbling stone wall that defined my actual boundary line. They were trespassing. I finally had the tool to burn their whole damn kingdom down. At precisely 4 p.m. that afternoon, I remember the light was golden and harsh. I turned the sluice gate wheel, not quickly, but deliberately letting the water roar. It was a beautiful, controlled release. A perfect sheet contained to the true boundary spillway, which just happened to bisect Eliza Thorne's prize-winning perennial garden. Neighbors emerged, confused, pointing at the rising water. I walked right out, holding 3 documents. First, my notarized hydraulic blueprint. Second, the original hand-stamped construction permit for the dam. And third, the official county plat map, laid right next to the HOA's fraudulent version. I pointed, a finger straight down at the line on the county map. Their fines, their authority. Their jurisdiction, I said loud enough for the gathering crowd to hear. It ends right here at this stone wall. They have been illegally claiming my private property, and they have been trespassing. Eliza screeched onto the scene in her black SUV, trying to push past me to the gate. I put my hand out solid as the concrete I poured. Touch that gate, Eliza, and you're committing a felony. This structure is private and permitted. Your authority is void. She froze, her face a mask of furious disbelief, realizing the power she'd wielded for months had just evaporated. She stormed off, screaming about an emergency board meeting. That night, the clubhouse was packed. Eliza tried to rally the mob with her fear-mongering, but the dam was broken, literally and figuratively. Tom Gable, an old resident, stood up against her lies. Where is the original plat, Eliza? Where is the real survey? I presented my evidence, videos, documents, maps. Tom called the county clerk right there and put them on speaker. The truth hit like a brick. The boundary was the old stone wall. Eliza resigned, furious. But the story wasn't over. She tried one last act of sabotage, ordering emergency erosion. Mitigation. Truckloads of boulders dumped upstream on my creek, an hour before her resignation took effect. I showed up with the new interim president, Bill Thompson, and Sheriff Mallory. Her bluff was over. The sheriff confirmed her order was nullified. Fraud and forgery charges followed. Brent, the assistant, cooperated, turning state's evidence, and was removed. Bill Thompson, the new president, voided every single fine, confirmed the boundaries, and instituted annual audits. The fear lifted like the morning mist off the lake. We had a community barbecue. Lily was back on the dock teaching some of the neighborhood kids to fish. Bill clapped me on the shoulder, the golden sun setting over the lake I had fought to. "Dave, you didn't just save your lake, Dave," he said. "You saved the whole damn neighborhood from her tyranny." And for the first time, I believed it. Our sanctuary was now a testament. Now, let me ask you, do you think I should have just paid the $10,000 and settled, or was the fight and the flood justified to expose this kind of HOA power trip? Let me know in the comments below. And if your HOA has ever tried something this crazy, hit that like button and share your story.